Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Generica, and this is the best of two worlds, where we talk about all things positivity. And I feel like it's been a while. It's been a while since we had a sit down and talked about life and how things are going and how it is. So let's today I would like to talk about the different stages of us as women, as girls, and like we all know, there are different stages of womanhood, or from when you develop from being a child, a young girl, to a teenage, and to now an older woman. And I also feel like this topic is a topic that is sensitive to many, and I understand that. And it's a topic that is, in my view, it's not well spoken. There are not very many people who are speaking about this particular topic. There are a lot of famous people who are talking about it. Oprah talks about it. So there are very many people. Harry Barry is talking about it. So there are very many famous people who are talking about it. But I feel like we, the ordinary people, we are not talking about this particular issue that I'm about to talk about. What is it am I talking about? Reaching the menopause stage, the next stage from adulthood to from being a teenager, having mens. I mean, we everybody talks about it. This is something we talk about to our young girls in schools. It's talked about, but nobody really is talking about what happens to a woman after a certain age. And I almost feel like this is a taboo topic, and we need to start to open up, and we need to start feeling free to talk about it. Now, most people, or if you don't know, I am 50 years of age, and I turned 50 last year, so I'm going to be 51 this year. And what I know for sure is that nobody talks about the next stage of being a woman or being a lady. That is the menopause stage. So that is the topic I want to talk about. And if you're a man and if you are a young adult, move a bit behind. Let the women 45 plus come a bit closer. Sitaki hii damu ikumwagikie kama hujafika hii miaka. I don't want the blood to get into you if you have not reached this stage. This is a topic for women from 45 and above, and any woman or anybody who is interested in hearing my story and my journey, and how how I have been navigating this next stage of my life, because I am there. I'm in the perimenopause stage. What does the perimenopause stage mean? That means that I'm still having my periods, but they are not as regular as they used to be when I was, you know, the younger age. That is between now 45 downwards. And I will talk about what I have discovered from when I turned 45, 46, and I will talk about what the internet says about menopause. So if you Google the word menopause or the symptoms of menopause, this is what the Google says are the symptoms of menopause. You will have irregular periods, you will have vaginal dryness, you will have hot flash, that is feeling very, 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 very hot. From all of a sudden you're feeling hot. Night sweats, you're sweating at night. Sleepless nights, you have issues sleeping. And mood changes, like you are almost like a teenager, but these are just changes that come abrupt. And sometimes it's difficult to put or to understand what's going on to your body, because nobody is talking about these things. Like I said, nobody prepared me to get into this stage of premenopause or menopause. Now, what I have experienced, I have not, most of these symptoms that when you Google you see, I have really not experienced them as such. What I have experienced, and this is, I'll say now, is from last year. From last year, what I experienced is that increasing of weight, which before I'd go up in weight and then I'll discover, okay, I've gone up with weight. I go back to the gym, I go back to training, I go back to eating healthy, and I go back to my usual age. Now I'm a curvy woman. I am a woman with meat in all the correct places, but I've discovered that it has been, and how did I discover this? I'll go back from the beginning. I went to Kenya 2 years ago. I went to Kenya like I always do. I always go to Kenya every year. I went to Kenya, and of course, in Kenya, you indulge, you're eating well, you're having fun, you're having your drinks, and not anything out of the ordinary. I did it like I've always done it before. Then when I came back, I realized, oh, I have added some weight, and I was like, it's like any other time. I will lose the weight. But then I've discovered 1 year, 2 years down the line, I have been able to reduce some of the weight, but not as much as I was able to do in the previous year, where I just reduced the weight and then I continue with my life. So I've regained some of that weight. I've grown some, I never had a pot before. I don't have it now either, but I can see the love handle is a bit more elaborate than it used to be. So that is one of the signs that I knew, I am in the pre-menopause stage. And then, of course, uh, the hot flashes, they are not that extreme, but I know that sometimes I can just feel, oh, is it hot inside here or is it hot? They are not that extreme as I say, but they are there. I've never had problem with my sleep, and but sometimes I can find myself, turning and tossing a little bit in the night. So those are some of the signs that I know I have gotten into the pre-menopause stage. And of course now I've always had regular mens, but now they've started to be more irregular. They come 1, 2, 3 months consecutive, and then they disappear 2, 3 months, and then they come back, and that's part of it. Then the other thing that I have discovered, and this is true because I've all my teenagehood, I've never had painful periods, but the periods the last 1 year have just been uncomfortable and they've been very painful, and to an extent where I'm taking painkillers. So that is also part of, because when you get into the pre menopause, or when you get into menopause, it's different for every woman. I'm not saying this is a general thing for all of us. It's different for every woman. So these have been my symptoms for myself. And I've done a few changes when I discovered that. So the last 1, 2 years, I've done a few changes in my life, and that has really made it easier for me to transit now from the regular period to the menopause, or to the pre-menopause stage. One of the things that has really, 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 really helped me is fasting. What do I mean by fasting? I've always fasted in the first month of January, the whole month. So that has been regular for me. I fast from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That means I don't eat anything. I only drink. Water, or I drink tea. It has no sugar, it has no milk. And then, but what I have added into my fasting now, the last 2 years, is that the first meal of the day, I eat from 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I wake up, I drink a hot cup of water in the morning. In that cup of water, I can have it plain, or I can put chia the night before. You know the benefits of chia seedlings. They make you full. They improve your metabolism. They they help you in when you're going to the toilet. So that is one of the things that I have now included in my lifestyle. Drinking hot water in the morning when I wake up as the first thing that I do. And then now I fast because my dinner, the latest I can eat dinner is say 7 o'clock. That's the absolute latest that I can eat dinner. So I don't eat anything else throughout the night and in the morning until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, because that is when I have my first break at work. So during that fast break, what can I eat? I always carry 2 eggs from home. I carry 2 eggs, so I'll do my 2 eggs or my 3 eggs, and I will drink a cup of tea. That is my first meal of the day at 10 o'clock. And then I will have my lunch. Normally we have lunch at about 12:30 there. What will I have? I will have maybe yogurt, raw protein yogurt with some quinoa, or I'll have it with granola, or I'll have it with some fruits. That is what I eat for my lunch. And then after that, and of course, during now all this period, I'm drinking water. It is very, 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 very important. And this is not only for women who are in the menopause or in the premenopause stage. This is true for everybody. You have to drink enough water. I can never say this enough. You have to drink enough water. What is enough water for me? I take not less than 6 glasses of water every day. It could be cold, it could be hot, it could be with some green tea, but some sort of drinking. So that is very, very important for me. So all along, I'm drinking water. And then I will now come home and have my dinner around 6:37. Then I'll have my dinner. I'm not restrictive on what I eat. I eat everything because I believe that my body needs everything. It needs the carbohydrates, it needs the proteins, it needs the fat, it needs all these things. But I eat them in moderation. So if I'm going to eat my ugali, when instead of eating this big ugali, I take a smaller ugali and more greens and maybe more meat. I eat a lot of meat, I eat a lot of fish, and the fatty meat, don't be cheated. The fat is good for you. The fat is very good for you. And then I am a person who trains regularly. I go to the gym, I bike to work. Those who have followed me for the longest time, they know that I bike to work. Not every day, but I combine it. I combine it, biking to work, going to the gym, going for walks. I used to run before. Before I used to run, I was introduced into running maybe during the corona period by a very good friend of mine, but I've gone down. I have reduced the running because I found that it was very harsh on my feet. So I've reduced the running. I still run a bit, but I don't run that much. But I love to bike. I bike to work. I bike during the weekends. I can take 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers during the weekend. And then I go to the gym. So that is how my lifestyle is. And this is not so that I can reduce the weight. No, this has to be a lifestyle. So this is my lifestyle. And so far, I will tell you that I don't have an issue with sleeping at night. I can maybe wake up once or twice to go to the bathroom because it's part of the pre-menopause stage or the menopause stage. But when I get to bed, I go back and sleep. And I'm not saying this is true to everybody. I'm telling you my part of the story because this is true for me. So far, my pre-menopause is how far it is taking me and the changes that I have done here and there. Then it's very, very important to love yourself. What do I mean by loving myself? Most of you at my age, and that's why I put the age from 45 upwards, you probably don't have small children. Maybe you have teenagers who are heading to the young adulthood. For me, I have young adults. My last born is 19. Maybe you have children who have moved from home. My firstborn is 26. She's moved out of home. So really, you don't have that stress of children, that you have children that you have to take care of. So all you have is yourself to take care of you, and maybe your partner if you have one. But let's stick now to the individual. So I have discovered that I have to put me first. I will repeat that I have to put me first, because if I am okay, then my whole family will be okay. I listen a lot to Oprah and to another lady called Iyanla. She talks about self-love, and she says that it is not selfish to put me first, it is self-full. It is selfful to put me first, and it is not wrong to put me first. What do I mean? It doesn't mean that I don't take care of everybody else, I don't do the things I'm supposed to do because now I'm taking care of me. No, I put me first by eating well, making sure I exercise every day, that I sleep well, that I do those things that make me happy, going to walk to in the nature, going out for walk, loving me, going to work because I love my work. Because if I am happy, if I am comfortable with myself, then everybody else will be okay. So those are some of the things that I know for sure will help me in this stage of transiting from uh, being an adult who is going through the regular menstruation period to now pre-menopause and into menopause stage. The other thing is that I've talked about drinking water. It's very, very important to drink your water, just as important as to watch what you're eating, because what do they say? You are what you eat. You are what you put into yourself. So what you put into you will reflect to what is going to proceed on the outside. So that is very, very important. Drinking water is very, very, very important. So I have a bottle at work that is always filled with water. I have a small thermos because I love to drink hot water. And then here at home, or I do a lot of green tea because I found green tea to have different benefits. I drink a lot of hibiscus tea because I've also found it to have a different uh, different benefits. And when I say eating, I mean it has to be balanced. Don't get me wrong. You have to eat a balanced diet. You have to eat your greens. You have to eat your proteins. It has to be a balanced diet. I know different people will say different things, but that's what I believe. I believe that my body needs everything. And then then you leave your work. Then it's also important also if you're working, because I work full time. I'm a full working lady and I love my work. It's important to do those things that you love. If you are going to a job that you are feeling stressed, you're having a pain in your stomach when you're going to work, then it's time to put a change. A disclaimer, I know it's not that easy to just change your job in many cases, and especially if you're living in Kenya, because probably the jobs are scarce and it's not as easy to get jobs. But it's also important to do those things that make you happy. So again, if I say if you don't like your job, maybe it is time for you to evaluate and look for a job that will suit you, that will make you happy. You can have an extra curriculum activity that also now fills into your cup. For me, I started YouTube, and YouTube has been the biggest joy because I've always loved to take pictures. I've always loved to capture moments. So YouTube has been my extracurricular activity that I'm indulging, and I'm finding it fun to do. So, and in that topic, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? I'll give you 2, 3 minutes as I sip on my cup of tea to check. Just check if you've subscribed. The subscription button is down below. Just check. You never know, because it's very easy to see this person that always comes into your camera every now and then, and you think you've subscribed, and maybe you haven't. So please just double check if you've subscribed as I sip my tea. Thank you. Thank you. And I will say, when it comes to now pouring into yourself, you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself patience. You have to be patient with yourself, because if you're like me, you've lived all your life taking care of children, you've taken care of the home, taking care of everybody else, going to work, coming back, and maybe you have almost like forgotten about yourself. Now that you're in this stage, now that you're in this new stage where the children are a bit older, the children are maybe have moved out, the children maybe are in the university, and they are adults, they can take care of themselves, or they are young adults that they can take care of yourself. It's time to pour into yourself. Find what is that one thing that you love to do. Is it knitting? Do you have a club you can join for knitting? Can you learn to knit? If you don't know how to knit, can you learn to do it? There's a lot of knitting tutorials that you can get on internet. I don't love, I've never loved to be in the kitchen, and cooking has not been a job that I love to do, because I mean, I have 2 older sisters. I have never needed to be in the kitchen that much. But having been married and having children, having a home, of course, I've been in the kitchen to cook for my kids, but I also have taught my children to be in the kitchen. So guess what? We always have had cooking days. Even my girls, we've always had, each has a day they cook, even my husband, and that has made it easier for me, so that I'm not always standing in the kitchen cooking. Remember, excuse me, I live in a country where we don't have house girls, we don't have house helps, we don't have house managers, we don't have house workers outside taking care of our compound. We do everything ourselves. So it was important for me to learn, to teach my children to be comfortable in the kitchen. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. But I made it easy for them, and I told them, whatever you decide we are eating today, if you think we are going to eat bread and tea for dinner, that is what we are going to eat for dinner. So it made them more curious. And now with YouTube and internet, they were able to Google, and every Saturday and Sunday we write down a menu, or a list of things to go and shop. So that is where they put, if you want to cook a certain meal, you check in the fridge, the ingredients are not there, you write in the list, and we go and shop. So it has been that way. I found it has been easy for me to be able now to go and be me and do the things and give time to the things that I love, because I know that at least that thing, the responsibility of cooking every day is taken care of. When it's my day of cooking, I also am in the kitchen And one principle or one rule we had, you're in the kitchen, you're the one who is making dinner, you leave the kitchen better than you found it. Pasta, we're talking about making omelette, we're talking about boiling rice. But with time, they have learned to make their own meals. But even imagine, God forbid something happens to you. Are your children going to be able to survive without you in this world? Are they going to be able to make their own meals? Are they going to be able to make their beds? So that has been very, very important to me. I'm not saying it is how it's supposed to be. I'm just saying that that has been important to me because also we are not bringing up children. We are bringing up young adults. We are bringing up the adults of tomorrow. We are bringing up the leaders of tomorrow. So if you don't let them do these things, who is going to teach them to do these things? The best teacher is the teacher that teaches them from home. You're the best teacher. I mean, I cannot say that I have been the best mother. Of course, there are those mistakes you've done along the way, but that is part of life. That is part of living. So that has been important to me because then now that they are young adults, it's time to pour into me. It's time to really look into me and see what are those things that I can do to better myself. Now, I have a grandchild. It's very important that I am pouring into myself to be able to socialize with my grandson as much as I can. Remember, I'm still working, but I still have to create that time to socialize with my grandchild. So this is my time, and I do these things to make it easier. The symptoms we talked about, there are people who talk about, oh, after menopause, I started to have pain, pain in the joints, pain in the body. But if you're exercising, and remember, I go to the gym, I don't go to the gym to lose the weight. I go to the gym to keep my body going, to build the muscles. Because remember, as you grow older, you lose muscles. And that's normal. That's the nature. That's how nature is. It is. You lose muscles. And especially when you're living in a country like this where it's not a lot of sunshine, you get to lose that vitamin D, the vitamin C that comes from the natural sun. So you need to do your vitamins. You need to do your vitamins. You need to lift those weights to gain the muscle. I know there are very many people say, oh, women should not lift weight, or women should not have muscles. I'm not saying you have muscles like Yokozuna. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you have to build your muscles so that in case you fall, then you're not falling and breaking your bones. Because you can easily have an issue with your bones. If your bones are too weak, then you have a problem with the bones, and then you have to now be dependent on medicine to keep your bones stable. So you don't have to always go to the gym to do this. You can lift weights even at home with bottles, put bottles of water and lift the weight. Walking also is making your legs stronger. Simple exercises you can do at home. You don't have to necessarily have instruments or to lift weights. No, you can do simple. And YouTube has come at the right time where we have access to internet. We are able to go in and get these simple exercises we can do at home. Remember, we are pouring into ourselves. That is what we are doing at our age. We have done all that we are called to do. We have mothered, we have educated, we have supported, we've cried with our children, we've gone through the struggles of teenagehood, and now they are young adults. Maybe they are stable, maybe they are still not stable, but how are you going to be able to support them if you yourself, you're not stable? You have to be stable yourself. You have to be mentally stable yourself to be able to support your young adults. So it's very, very, very important. The other big step that I have done, or the other big change that I have done into my pre-menopause and into menopause, is doing away with friends and people who are not watering into me. I will repeat again, doing away with people or friends who are not giving back to me. As much as I give, I deserve to receive back, to be poured into this friendship. So I have done away with a lot of friends and a lot of people who have been in my life that were not beneficial, that were not good, did not have that good energy. And I have only kept a small group of friends that I know that even if we don't talk every day, but we check on each other now and then, that I know if I call, I have an issue, they will answer. Very, very important to have good relationships. But then again, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, how are you able to have a good relationship with your friends? So it goes back to us, it goes back to you. How much are you giving back to yourself? How much do you love you? And the menopause stage is a very, very hard stage because one, nobody is talking about it. Two, it comes slowly, it comes creeping in slowly. It's not something that you now realize, oh, now I've crossed the line, I'm in menopause. No. Most of the time you don't know what is happening. You actually don't even realize what is happening. But when you do realize what is happening, what are you doing about it? Because you there's the things I have mentioned are going to make it easier. They are not going to, because these symptoms, the menopause stage, you cannot do anything about the symptoms that as an individual I'm going to experience, because my experiences will be different from somebody else. But how are you going through it yourself to make it easier for you? So loving yourself is very important. And that is one thing I know for sure now when here I at this particular stage. What I know for sure is that you have to pour into yourself to be good, to be able to undergo this stage of menopause in an easier way and be able to meet the people around you, your children, your husband, your friends, in an easier way, so that now everybody is not wondering what is happening. And there is also the other way. If you're living in a country like where I'm living, is that there is help to get. If you're having a lot of sleepless nights, there is help to get. There's a lot of self-help groups there. You can go to the doctor and you can get medicine to help you into sleeping. If you're having those a lot of sweating and fresh that heat, there's also medicine to get. But if you can do it the natural way, is always the best way to go about it. So I will, because my sister, my older sister Anne, has gone through this before me. I sat down with her and we talked about how she transitioned into menopause, because she's in full menopause stage. And this is what she said. So listen to what my sister and my role model had to say about her experiences of premenopause and now that she's in the menopause stage. So stay tuned and let's listen to her because we can learn a thing or two from people who are already in the stages. These are things that I wish my mother had talked about or even my grandmother had talked about. Nobody is talking about these things. We are learning as we go. We are learning as we go. But we want to change so that now we prepare our children to go through it in an easier way. You got into your menopause. What are the changes you yeah, what changes did you discover in yourself that time?
First, what I discovered, even later on in my years, if you are not healthy, if your body is not healthy, you really get used to menopause.
Yes.
You really catch up with you, kabisa.
Yeah.
They will eat you.
Yeah.
And how you go to the kitchen, okay, need to depression because I was no wounda.
Yeah.
But I used to sweat.
Yeah, you used to sweat,
I used to sweat.
Mm-hmm.
I used to sweat. I used to sweat.
Do you remember which years, how old you were then?
I was about 52.
About 52.
And I think they came, according to me, I think they came married because of working at night.
Mm-hmm. So you used to sweat a lot, but by that time, had your periods disappeared?
No, they were in the middle, we got 2 months.
Yeah.
They had already done it by 50, they had already jumping.
Yeah.
Jumping.
Yeah.
You got 2 months. You can't disappear. You got 3 months, you managing there. You get to 55.
So for you, it was hot flashes.
It was only for hot flashes. I was okay. I didn't have mood swings or anything. Not that I noted, unless maybe somebody else noted.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't notice.
You didn't notice. Okay, then that was premenopause. So then when you got into, at what time did you discover that now you are in menopause?
When they disappeared.
When the men discovered, and at what age was that?
At 55.
55.
But the thing,
by that time,
I'd already discovered the secret. I went into fasting.
So for you, the secret was fasting.
The secret was fasting and changing the lifestyle. I stopped eating carbohydrates. I stopped eating sweets. I stopped,
Okay, wait. Go into fasting because that's very interesting. Because there are different types of fasting, and that's what I was talking about. I was talking about my fasting and the symptoms that for me I've discovered now, and this I started discovering from when I was about 48, 49, is just the gaining of weight, which was harder to lose. From Kenya, you gain the weight. Normally I would come back and I would lose that weight, but now the weight has been a bit difficult to do, and especially around my waist. No hot flashes, no sleepless night, no nothing else. So for you, was fasting. Your fasting, how do you do your fasting?
When I was in menopause, I must say, I really don't know about the weight so much, but I know I was not the way I am now before fasting.
Yeah. So how is your fasting? Tell us how your fasting is.
I started because from a long time ago, I was never a morning person of eating breakfast. So that one was no problem. I started reading books, I started listening to doctors. And I realized how important it is to fast. So, but before I could eat breakfast at 10, 11, I pushed it. I started pushing for I started going until 1 or 12, lunch hour.
Yeah. Then, before you eat your first meal?
Before I eat my first meal. But then I was also doing it wrong. Because I didn't know, as you open your fast, you should not eat carbohydrates. I could eat carbohydrates, so about the weight it was not changing really. But I could feel much better, but not really where I wanted to be. But the day I discovered that you cannot start your fast by taking carbohydrates and sugar, that is the day everything changed. Hot flashes went, I started going down the weight. I feel like as young as when I was at my 30s. That's how I feel, body-wise. Even better, because then I didn't even have my good body.
Yeah.
Then I pushed it. I pushed the fasting, intermediate fasting. I pushed it to even up to 3 o'clock. That's where I stopped. Once in a blue moon, I could go like in the one of that 6 hours, once or twice, but I haven't done it for long. But it's a good thing. But after doing the fast, I can't talk about menopause anymore.
Yeah,
it's completely finished. My weight also went down. I feel much better times 10.
So, and that's what I was saying. I was just saying that the premenopause and the menopause topic is not talked about as much as the teenagehood is talked about. Nobody ever sits anybody down, like even our parents, just like they never sat down to tell us about teenagehood. Nobody told us about, prepared us for the menopause. And I was saying now that we know that there are ways to reduce the symptoms of menopause, apart from now the famous people who have a lot of money who can go to the doctors and be given this tablet that now reduces their symptoms. There are natural ways of reducing the menopause symptoms.
Yeah, because it's a natural way of a woman changing their life to, there's nothing wrong with the body.
Yes.
If you're healthy, you should not even feel it.
Yeah.
But now we feel it because we are not really healthy.
Yes.
And I can advise, instead of, I'm not advising, I'm just saying.
This is your experience, yes.
I would rather do it naturally than go to take those, I don't know, hormones.
Yes.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
There's no point. It's better to just do fasting, avoid carbohydrate and sugar. Then you're good to go.
Yeah, because everybody is also different for everybody. Yeah. And for you, you're saying the fasting is what helped you. For me, yes,
it helped me, and I've had many people say that they felt the change because I was listening, I was looking at the videos, I was listening to what other people are experiencing.
Yeah.
So after 50, I can say. Right now, where I am.
Still, what you're saying is that right now at level 5, you're feeling better than you felt when you are at level 3. At
level 3, I was maybe overweight, I was eating badly, I was not healthy.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. And everybody is different, but the common denominator here is that you have to watch what you're eating. You are what you eat. What you put in your body will manifest out through your face and how you feel at the end of the day.
And even through you are like, if you are getting sick, most of the diseases, even allergies and whatever, if you fast and you don't eat sugar and carbohydrates which turns into sugar, you are actually, your metabolism will be very good. Yeah. So it will be in, out. Yeah. Even you can eliminate, not everything because there's chemicals in the air and whatever, and stress, but whatever you can be able to do through food, why don't you do it? It starts with your gut in the kitchen.
Yes, it starts with your gut in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, not medicine.
I think we should now start also to educate ourselves more and more about
to
go the natural way.
To go the natural way and make it like a lifestyle. So you don't feel like you're being forced.
Yeah, because that's what is also very important. Yeah. It has to be a lifestyle. Yeah, it has to. So you have to do something that you know you can sustain for a long time.
Yeah, that is something you live with. Yeah. You naturally are not hungry in the morning. Yeah. There can be, if you go to visit and there's a function, maybe you can, that day. Yeah. But make it like a lifestyle. Because I think it was of great help, and I feel better. Yeah,
because I think that's a topic that I literally feel nobody is talking. It's almost like a taboo to talk about menopause, and yet it is the next stage of our lives as women.
Yeah.
There's nothing, doesn't mean that you have less sex because you've reached menopause, or you are less of a human being.
In the opposite.
The opposite, you become even more active.
Yeah.
When you reach menopause, so I think it's a topic we need to talk more and more.
More
and educate even the younger generation that is coming up. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting, because I wanted to hear from you, because now
I'm at the peak. And
you are enjoying.
I'm enjoying myself. Yeah. I feel healthy, and it's just a natural way. I'm not even taking any hormones or anything. I just control everything by what I eat, what I do, how I avoid stress, those kind of things.
Yeah. Wow, thank you you so much for that.
And thank you for asking.
Yes. We have to learn from one another.
Yes.
One way or another.
Nobody is correct. If you have something else, you can tell us.
Yes.
Maybe what you are doing.
Exactly.
You
Comment.
might add something on top of what we have.
Exactly. Leave a comment in the comment section about what you yourself, if you're in that level, what it is you're doing. If you know somebody else who is doing it differently, let us know in the comment section so that we get to educate one another. We let this is not be a taboo subject to talk about.
Yeah.
We should be proud of the fact that we have lived, a life where we have brought up our children. And I was saying at the same time that we as women tend to forget ourselves when we are bringing up the children, when we have younger children, when we have the babies. Now that they have grown up, it's our turn to take care of us. You have to feed ourselves and love ourselves so much so that you're able now to even engage with, if you're blessed with grandchildren, or even with your friends and society. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
Love. Yes, so now you've heard it from my sister, my big sister, about her premenopause and menopause stage and the things she has gone through and what she's done. And I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, share it with your friends who you really think that they would need to hear about this. And most of all, please subscribe. And subscription is free. The button is down here below. Just give it a subscription because we have a lot more that we can dive into when it comes to menopause and premenopause. So for now, I will say thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. Thank you even for, if you've not subscribed, even for clicking to watch the video. Thank you very, very, very much. Until the next video, I will say God bless and bye.